So waging war on being busy. How many times have you asked somebody, "Hey, how are you?" and they just say busy? Or how many times have you replied, "Oh, I've been really busy lately." Well, with what? What does that even mean? What does busy mean? I mean, just the the way the fundamental nature of time is that your time gets filled, whether you're doing things you want to be doing or not, or doing dumb stuff like being on YouTube all day. The time gets filled up, and then you die. But what we need to do is to move and be intentional. That's how I'm waging war. Is I'm being super intentional this year. I'm getting things on the calendar that I want to be doing. But first off, I'm looking at my life through frameworks and through systems. I'm looking at the areas that I want to improve or set a goal. I had a friend of mine. She had this awesome framework that she told me about, and I've really taken that and I've taken the action and started going through. And the way this framework works is that you have your life broken out into different categories. So there's spiritual, physical, emotional, financial, and each of these categories in your life, you go and break that down with an anchor, an aim, and an action. So what this is, the anchor is your why. Why is what is why are you focusing on your financial? And for me, I bring in a scriptural basis, a biblical basis. Like, what is the scripture? What does the Bible say about my health? What does the Bible say about my finances? And then second is the aim, which is an identity statement. It takes on an identity of, I'm a person that does blank. I'm a person that eats healthy, first, let's say. And then the last thing is the action. How do you take this goal, this anchor and this aim of where you want to go, and how do you put this into a day-to-day action? This it reminds me of like an archer. An archer has an anchor on their face, on their bow, and then they aim at the target, and then as they're locked into that anchor position, they have an action with just a little action with their hand, and then that release will go and the arrow will hit its mark. And that's just a beautiful picture of what this is, because the smallest movement of that daily action is what releases that arrow to hit its target. And you have to take this overarching framework and these goals, and you have to put it into actions, into your calendar and into your budget. And if you say that something's important to you and you don't put your time and your money to it, you're just lying to yourself. The things that we value, we put our time, we put our energy, our emotions, our money into that. That's how you move the needle. And so that overarching framework, we're going to funnel that down into, I'm funneling that down in my life to a yearly and monthly planning, and then to weekly and daily. I'm taking that complex thing of a get wealthy, let's just use that one, and taking that big, complex, audacious goal and putting it down to the simple things of what can I do day to day. Just practically, what I'm doing is getting with my wife, my family, and we're blocking things in for the year and for the month. Are we perfect at this? No way. But we're getting better. And here's the thing with the goals and with the way that we plan and that you plan, you have to make it specific to you, because I've tried different daily planners. I've tried people's systems where it's down to the hour planning, but that just doesn't work for me. It drives me crazy to have like, oh, in 2 minutes I have to start this thing or I've failed the day. But for me, if I block times off, it works better for me. I'll say, okay, I'm blocking off. Here's my daily plan. Here's what I want to accomplish for this day. And what I'll do is I have a list of tasks for the week. I have my strategy for the week, and I'll use those tasks and that strategy to funnel into what I'm actually doing day to day. I'd say you got to start small sometimes. Sometimes it just takes that okay, I want to read more books. Well, start reading one word out of a book. today, and that's it. Just try to do one word. It's actually kind of hard to do just one word. So you have to remember that this, looking at your life through intention and strategy, it's a long game. Like, we're playing a long game here. These new habits, the new things we're trying to form, the new daily goals and vision, they just don't happen overnight. It's gonna take some time, and that's okay. Like, give yourself some grace if you're failing at this. Get back on it. Just keep it an actionable thing. Put those things that matter to you on the calendar. The second thing I'm doing right now is I'm reviewing last year. I'm looking at what are my great wins of last year, what are my losses, and then how do I learn from all these things, the wins and the losses. A lot of times we go through a whole year, especially if we're really in the trenches, engaged, and we forget some of the great things that happen and how far ahead of we are of where we were last year at this time and where we're at this year. And then just look at what are the positive things and what are the negative things that happen and what you did. So just keep doing more of the positive things, and then ruthlessly cut the negative things. Cut the things out that aren't helping you get to your goals. Tim Ferriss has a year interview strategy he just posted, where he just has a simple sheet of paper and he'll go positive on one side, negative on one side, and have the columns there. And it's like, if you went on an awesome trip to the beach, to like Florida this year, well, then schedule it again. Schedule it for next year, or the mountains, or whatever you like to do. Whatever is going to be, whatever means the best life for you. And if you can't afford these things, then can you go and schedule it 2 years from now, and then put the action in your budget to go ahead and start saving for these things? What I would do is just put a separate account without a card or check or anything like that, and then automatically shift money from your main account every month. Automatically shift it to an account that's going to save up for these things that are going to be those things that bring you the most joy, fulfillment in life. Those things that are really important. It's like, have you ever seen the teaching thing where you have the glass jar, and then you put the big rocks in, and you say, is it full? And then no. And then you put sand in it. Is it full? No. And then you put the water in it. Well, what we want to do is to make sure we have as many big rocks, those big, like, awesome things that are like really bringing us that fulfillment, which are really like bringing our family closer together. They're good for your own mental health, all those things. Bring those in and make those the foundational within your action. And so a big focus for me this last year was my mental health and spiritual health. I had a lot going on throughout the middle of the summer and the early last year. I was finishing up a master's program. I had big shifts in work, just a lot of things. And those things that were on the work side were really pulling me from the family side. And then I would get short a little bit with my family, and then spiritually I was getting strained. So I was kind of up and down spiritually. It would be spiritually dry sometimes, and then other times I wouldn't be. But it kind of all came to a head at one point. All these deferred things that I was doing, that was like, even things like maintenance around the house, and it was like all these things kind of came due at one time. And then I just found myself just in like not the best mental state, not the best spiritual state, and I wasn't being the man God was calling me to be to myself, to my family, to those around me. And so what did I do? I fought back just inch by inch. The biggest thing I did that I implemented last year, and it's really been cool to look back on this, is very simple. It's just, I take my first 30 minutes of the day, and it's like non-negotiable, and I just go and pray and read the word. The Bible is a living thing. It brings life. It renews your mind. So take that time out and make that time that for you to renew yourself, to renew your mind, and make it a non-negotiable. So to recap, I'm waging an all-out war on busy. I don't even want to come out of my mouth that I'm busy. I'm intentional. I'm filling my time intentionally. I'm reviewing 2023. What are my big wins, my big losses? How can I learn from them? How can I do the things that were big wins again? I'm taking massive risk. I'm taking my health seriously, and I'm building meaningful relationships. So what are you doing this year? I want to know what you're doing down in the chat. Don't forget to do all the YouTube things, all the likes and subscribes. We got a lot of interesting things I'm going to be doing this year, from interviews and videos. It's exciting. There's a big risk for me, putting myself out there. It's only upward from here. You're getting at the ground floor. Here we go. All right. So see you next time. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy New Year. And let's make 2024 the best year yet.